Oh yeah, Hodiah 7, y'all. The truth is always hiding in plain sight. Always. Hey, what's up everyone? This video is going to be about Adam's apple. And we're going to ask the question, what did Eve bite? And how Eve was told, you will not surely die. And where is the Adam's apple? The Adam's apple is located on the throat. Is this alluding to a story about cannibalism? We can use words like regenerative medicine, alchemy, immortality would be the old school way of saying it. Either way, the serpent told her that she would not die if she did that. So in this video, we're going to reconsider what we've been taught. And we're going to look and see if they were trying to tell us something else. Here's Jimi Hendrix and Morgan Freeman in their military outfits. Look where the arrows are pointing. Hendrix has his name tag and Morgan Freeman doesn't. Right? Look how much these guys look alike. Literally, Jimi Hendrix dies, and then the world is given Morgan Freeman right after this. Go look it up. These are not coincidences. This man's even going to show you in a video I got lined up after these photos that he's got Jimi Hendrix jokes, ridiculing the idea. Just like Akil ridicules the idea that he's Tupac, y'all. Hey, we need to all start paying way more attention. And how are they doing this? That's what this video is going to be all about. Pay attention, y'all. Close attention to the way they do things.
I did Shakespeare, and I was wonderful. But that one play, I had a costume that looked like a harem type thing, you know, with sash and blousey, and I had a huge fro, and they put a band around my head, and I walk out on stage, first preview, audience, I guess it was preview. The Free Theater doesn't have previews, do they?
Yeah.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
First preview. Then it was the first time they had an audience, and I walk out on stage, and somebody way in the back said, "Sing Purple Haze."
It's not a good start to Othello, is it?
No, not
In training, these artists know what they can and can't say. From fake stories on TMZ to fake deaths, the truth of the matter is, they always tell us what's planned ahead of time. Let's take Jimi Hendrix for an example. He allegedly died on September 18, 1970. A song called Ballad of Jimi was released, and it predicted Jimi Hendrix's death. The LP was credited to Jimi Hendrix and Curtis Knight. The only version I could find isn't the best quality, but listen closely, he says. That is my story. It has no end. Now Jimmy's gone, he's not alone. His memory still lives on. Like the fox that he named, though they still gained less pain. 5 years, this he said. He's not gone, he's just dead. Notice this record playing has the year release of 1968. Now let's hear the alleged Chubby Checker version.
Though Jimmy's gone, he's not alone. His memory still lingers on, and the thoughts that remain though they still bring us pain. 5 years, yes, he said, he's not gone, he's just dead.
Some say after Jimmy's death, they went back into the studio and recut the song. The lyrics were altered from the original being about a girl. The focus of the song was now the best friend, Jimmy. However, the 45-inch album was dated 1968, before Jimi Hendrix's death. Now that I think about it, Ballad of Jimmy and Ballad of a Dead Soldier by Tupac, it makes sense.
Ain't nothing colder, listen, you can hear it. The ballad of a dead soldier. This is the ballad of a dead soldier.
The point is, we're always told of these planned events ahead of time. I believe it's because if the truth is ever revealed, they can say they told us, but we didn't listen.
I was gonna get out and actually buy a casket and pretend to come from the dead.
Oh my God.
Cause I got dead tattooed on my hand. I feel like I'm dead.
But you're not.
I'm alive, but I'm dead.
Now, on the ambush and murder of a 20-year-old rapper in Broward County, it appears 2 men were trying to rob him.
It's great, but I'm dead. So I can't answer any questions about that.
Oh, okay, so you don't want to give us a spoiler or anything like that?
I'm dead.
What about Black Panther 2? Anything?
I'm dead.
No, we're not ready for you to be dead, Chadwick.
But I am. I'm dead.
News right now, actor Chadwick Boseman of Black Panther fame has died at the age of 43.
So exactly like Pac, the way he said, let the world know I plan to die. Ballad of a Dead Soldier. Jimi Hendrix did the same exact thing. Wrote a song the same exact way. Y'all remember the rules of karmic retribution that I taught y'all from watching my channel? They have to tell us in advance what they're doing. Because it's a script, y'all. It's all planned out. They have written it all out and planned this all. Like the fox that he named is what Jimmy said. F is 6, O adds up to 6, and X makes another 6. Like the fox that he named. Look at what XXX really means. X is right here. It's right here, y'all, on the screen. X is 6. This boy's name was 666 Tentacion. Just like porno is labeled XXX. Huh? No one even knows it. But that shit says straight up 666 and it's been in our face our entire lives. Man, please reconsider. How else does Dolly Parton know to sing World on Fire or Akil know to say everything you own in this life, the next is gone if they don't know? How else do they know the damn world's about to be destroyed in advance? How did Dolly Parton know to say World on Fire before this happened in Mendoza, Argentina? How did Dolly know that if she doesn't have knowledge of what the future has in store? Come on, man. Wake up, y'all. How the fuck did this woman know this? Huh? Dude, for real. Hey, how did Dolly call this before any of this happened? She didn't say America on fire. She said the world. Go look at Dolly's damn video, World on Fire. Her whole dress is the globe and it's on fire. Huh? How do they know these things in advance? Why does Tupac got a song talking about coming for the Pharaoh's kids, making legends out the shit we did? Yo, that was the death angel that killed the Pharaoh's firstborn son. Why is Pac talking like that was him, like he was alive, y'all? Why indeed? Really start asking questions. How can Akil say everything you own in this life, the next, it's all gone? How does he know in advance what's going to happen, when the world is going to be destroyed? Hey, I'm going to tell you how, y'all, because this has all happened before. And it happens at the same exact time every so many thousand years. What happened to the world before Noah? It was destroyed by a flood. What happened to Atlantis? It was destroyed. Every so many thousand years we build up and the great reset occurs. That's why it says be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Because we had to do it again. Listen closely, y'all. In 2017, on September 23rd, there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. That's when the tribulation occurs, right? It happens on a loop every so many thousand years when people like Akil, when people like Dolly Parton, whoever their real names are, these people that done lived through time itself, right? Whenever they see that sign, they know it's going to happen. This is a test, y'all. If we don't pay attention to these same signs, we are going to perish. That's why it says in the Bible, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. Listen, this is a test. They have been studying us for thousands of years. They've destroyed our world many times over.
Eternity, folks. These people hunt the souls of men. You're not dealing with flesh and blood, okay? Now, this great awakening, this is all I see. Trump is up there on the 4th of July. At first, he's in front of Mount Rushmore. These immortal men. And this is the words that he uses. The giants, the titans, the legends, the immortal men who built this great country.
And it will soon be greater than ever before.
Do you understand? This is who they are. And this great awakening is nothing less than them telling you that they are here. They are coming into this natural world.
You know what? Sometimes what you leave out of a story is even more interesting than what you leave in. That happened when we were in Oxford, Maryland. Learned that the pride of that old town was one Robert Morris Jr., the financier of the American Revolution. Years ago, we used to go down to the county library to get a picture of a bird like that, but now we just use the internet. That's where I found this picture here. Now, the caption said it was a shot of the Greek god Mercury handing a bag of loot to Robert Morris, the financier of the American Revolution. Well, that's just a tiny part of a much bigger picture called the Apotheosis of Washington. Now, apotheosis is a Greek word that means to make divine. In other words, this painting shows George Washington becoming a god. Now, I never knew that happened. But there it is for all to see, painted under the most famous dome in the whole country, maybe the whole world, the United States Capitol. Now, the most interesting part of this particular heaven are the folks that live in it. Now, you'd expect to see Moses and Abraham and Ezekiel and that crowd hanging around, but not a single fella from the Bible's up there. Now, Minerva, the Roman goddess of crafts and wisdom, is shown delivering an electrical generator and batteries and a printing press to Benjamin Franklin, Samuel Morse, and Robert Fulton. And Neptune, the Roman sea god, and Venus, the goddess of love, are shown helping to lay the transatlantic telegraph cable. I'll bet you they were a big help. Now, there's some other gods, but not a single prophet, apostle, or even a lower archangel in the whole 4,500 square feet. All I know is what I read on the internet, but you hear a lot of talk these days about the religious beliefs of our founding fathers. Now, those boys may have been as devout as saints. We'll never know. One thing's for sure, you'd never tell by looking at Capitol Dome. Charles Paparella, WBOC News.
Hey, it was not a coincidence that they called themselves the outlaw immortals. Immortals, y'all. Outlaws. Because they going straight against God. Everything we see is a hint, a clue. Why do you think Aaliyah's biggest last movie was Queen of the Damned, where she's a girl that drinks blood to stay immortal? Huh? Aaliyah that faked her death and is now Natalie LaRose. It's not a coincidence. None of this is. Hey, Natalie LaRose right here to the right. That is Aaliyah. She's still with the same exact record label, just like Tupac was with Interscope, and now he's with Interscope still as Akil. Why does this woman need to fake her death? We're not going to be told that the people wanted to kill her. She was not a Black Panther. Why is she doing the same exact thing? The reason why is because they are a part of the 1%. These people are cannibals.
All I really needed was the blood of a young boy.
Oprah's favorites. She says it's a miracle, fountain of youth, and her magic wrinkle cure. I'm going to put a little on your hand.
I'll do that. Oprah did.
Yeah, Oprah did it. All right, so here, we're going to rub it right in.
How come it's red?
So it's made from human foreskin.
You tell Oprah this what's on her face?
She knows.
She knows.
She knows. There were a couple protesters about it because they are cells from baby foreskin.
Oh, baby foreskin.
That makes it better.
Yeah, that's different. I thought it was some grown-ass man.
And they somehow figured out how to extract
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
We're ready with the transfusion.
Oh, tyrant, hear his mighty name, and quick! Smithers, I'm back! Smithers, I'm back in the pink, full of pith and vinegar.
Just remarkable, sir.
You know, it's funny, Smithers. I tried every tincture and poultice and tonic and patent medicine there is. And all I really needed was the blood of a young boy.
Could the secret to eternal youth be found in blood transfusions from young people?
Transfusions with the young blood from teenagers, and he just may turn back the hands of time. That blood is going to patients over 35 as part of a clinical trial called Ambrosia, where subjects paid $8,000 to get the rich growth factors found in the platelets in blood's plasma.
There's a famous picture of Chronos, the god, eating his child. It's important to clue in on the fact that he's eating the lifeblood the Bible speaks about out of this baby. It's also important to remember that these people have been trying to achieve immortality since the very beginning of it all. That's what this is all about. They want this place all for themselves. In our modern times, they're throwing around a fancy term called adrenochrome. And they're like, oh yeah, they're getting these little children fearful. And then there's this chemical inside of their blood and they think the elites are drinking it, right? Everybody's heard of this. But guys, just realize that this is the same exact thing that's been happening all the way back to ancient times. This is the way to achieve immortality. And they've been ruling the world, doing all of this right underneath our noses. And they absolutely rule this world. This is a picture of the Israeli Supreme Court in Israel, the Holy Land. Look at what is in the center of this building and read in closely to what that says to you. This is the most powerful organization, cabal, coven, whatever word you want to use. This is what's going on. So now let's reconsider what we've discussed so far. Eve took a bite of the apple. I'm suggesting it was the Adam's apple, and Eve drank some blood. I'm suggesting that because the Bible, in a very subtle way, says that the snake told her that she would not die if she did that. That sounds like Eve is becoming immortal to me. Right? Now let's think about Cain and Abel. Cain kills his brother. And then he leaves and he becomes the Canaanites. And they become cannibals. So did Cain eat his brother? Or did he start eating people after he killed his brother? I think that story is a message. The truth is there even if you just sound it out. Cain and Abel. Cannibal. Cannibal. And it's right there in the scripture, the script. It says, for the life of the flesh is in the blood. Hey, what else do you think? Post Malone is doing right there. Pete Davidson. Why is this man covered in blood? DMX. Why are they all doing these blood rituals, y'all? Hey, I mean, I got some real questions now. If Tupac didn't know the apocalypse was going to happen in his generation, Generation X, like his bandana on his forehead was, like X marks the spot, how did this man know to name his album Tupacalypse Now? How did he call it? Yo, unless they know. Him and the rest of the 1% at the top that know so many thousand years this place does go apocalypse. It does go like Noah's flood. The earth does burn up. Euphrates does dry up. We do see that sign in the heavens of the woman with the 12 stars as a crown and the sun at her head and the moon at her feet. What if they know that's on the loop, y'all, and they know when it happens what's going to happen right then? They know the script because they haven't died.
They say Moses split the Red Sea. I split the blunt, roll the fat when I'm deadly. Babylon, beware, coming for the Pharaoh's kids. Retaliation, making legends off the shit we did.
Hey, he just said making legends off the shit we did.
Latin quarters, niggas tried to kill me, and I fed their wives and their daughters. Blazed the weed, drank their seeds, gave them cash, passed the fame.
Hey, is it just me, or did this man just say drank they seeds? Hey, you always got to remember the rule of karmic retribution, that they have to tell us things in advance. They cannot trick us. This is the reason why there is a script. Watch how this man tells us what's about to happen.
Thank you all very much. The next president is going to be confronted with an unforeseen challenge. That's almost certain. It could be a pandemic, a major natural disaster, or an attack on our country. The question for South Carolinians...
Yup. Hey, it is time to stop pretending like this ain't real. The fact is that they put it all in our faces. Whether you see it or not is based on whether you are paying attention.
Large parts of the world will be so diminished that you'll literally have hundreds of millions of migrants and you won't have a thriving global economy because you will have degraded the ecosystems. And there is no quick fix to that thing. Unlike the magic vaccine, their brain never develops, they grow up stunted, and so the human potential is not there, and you're caught in a trap of instability and malnutrition. The pandemic, there's a lot of crazy conspiracy things out there, and that, is widespread, and, the beaches in lots of places will be gone. People who suffer by far the most will be the poor. So it's very unjust.
What you're looking at is proof that it's all planned, it's all a script.
Jesus really reveal the name of the Antichrist? I will report the facts. You can decide. In Luke chapter 10, verse 18, Jesus said these words, "And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning falling from the heavens." These words are written in Greek and translated to English. However, Jesus spoke these words originally in Aramaic, which is the most ancient form of Hebrew. As you know, the Old Testament was written in Hebrew. If a modern Jewish rabbi were to speak these words of Jesus today, he would speak them in Hebrew, much the same way that Jesus would have spoken them. So in Hebrew, Jesus said that he saw Satan falling as lightning from the heights or from the heavens. So what are the words for lightning and heights or heavens in Hebrew? From the Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, word number 1299, a primitive root word meaning to lighten or lightning or to cast forth, the word is barak. In the Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, word number 1300, lightning, or by analogy a gleam, a flashing sword, or a brightness or a glittering, the Hebrew word is barak. So lightning, or a flash of light, in Hebrew is pronounced barak or barak. Now consider this amazing fact. The book of Isaiah is the source of origin for the Christian concept and understanding of Satan, or Lucifer, as Isaiah calls him, in chapter 14. especially in verses 12 through 19. In Isaiah chapter 14, verse 14, Lucifer, or Satan, is credited with these words, "I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." In the verses of Isaiah that refer directly to Lucifer, several times it is mentioned that Satan has fallen from the heights, or from the heavens. The Hebrew word used in this text for the heights from which Satan fell is Strong's Hebrew word 1116, pronounced Bama. Bama is most commonly used to refer to a high sacred place, as well as to the heights of the heavens or the clouds. In Hebrew, the letter Wa is often transliterated as a U. Some scholars use the O for this transliteration. It is primarily used as a conjunction to join concepts together. So to join in Hebrew poetry the concept of lightning, or barak, and a high place like heaven or the heights of heaven, the letter U, or sometimes O, the Hebrew letter Wa, would be used. So, Barak O Bama, or Barak U Bama, in Hebrew poetry, similar to the style written in Isaiah, would translate literally as lightning, and the heights, or the heavens, or lightning from the heights of the skies, or the heavens. The word Satan is Satan in Hebrew, a direct translation. So back to Jesus' prophecy in Luke chapter 10, verse 18. If spoken by a Jewish rabbi today, influenced by the poetry of Isaiah, he would say these words in Hebrew, the words of Jesus in Luke chapter 10, verse 18 as, "And I saw Satan as Barak Ubama." Did Jesus reveal to us the name of the Antichrist? I report, you decide.
Here's what I can guarantee. I'll be back. The next time I'm back, I may not be wearing a suit.
You cannot sit back and wait for a savior. We don't need a Messiah. First of all, give an honor to God and our Lord and Savior, Barack Obama. Barack Obama.
But to embrace the possibilities of tomorrow, we must reject the perennial prophets of doom and their predictions of the apocalypse. They are the heirs of yesterday's foolish fortune tellers, and I have them, and you have them, and we all have them. And they want to see us do badly, but we don't let that happen.
The chairman of the Obama Foundation just happens to look like your oldest daughter. And his wife, who is a doctor, who is credited with delivering your babies, just happens to look like your youngest daughter. The Obamas aren't blind, and their family and friends, and America's not blind. Somebody has to explain this. It's worthy of an explanation, or you should have got rid of these people. And so, literally, like, distance yourself from them. You got rid of Reverend Wright. You distance yourself from him. Don't make this man the head of the Obama Foundation if he looks just like your oldest daughter. And just the whole story, I mean, the woman delivers the baby. This woman delivers the baby and looks just like the youngest baby.
Blue planters. Videos online are going viral that show how lasers can easily burn through certain colored objects, but objects that are colored blue remain unharmed. Directed energy weapons include lasers, millimeter wave, and microwave. They are all based on light frequencies, and different wavelengths of light affect colors differently. For example, in laser tattoo removal, different wavelengths are used for removing different colors. And this is because color is a quality of light. Each color has its own frequency. Interestingly enough, the frequency of the color blue is 6.66.
Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Let the night wind to the little land. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Way up in the sky, little land. Do you see?
Comes from the myth of Osiris, you know, the story of Osiris's evil brother Set murders him and chops him into 14 pieces and throws all the pieces into the Nile, and a sister wife, the queen of magical skills, Isis, she goes up and down the banks of the Nile River, collects 13 of the pieces of Osiris, can't find the 14th piece, which is his missing male organ. But she assembles his body back together, just like we had 13 continents in this country that were assembled together to form one union. And she creates an obelisk, which then becomes magically representative of his male organ. Now you come to the United States. You have a dome. When the founders were building this country, they actually first called it Rome. They were designing it, if you will, after that same ancient pattern from both Egypt and the Vatican. And you look at Washington, the dome, and this giant obelisk known as the Washington Monument, the largest of its kind in the world, built by Freemasons in honor of George Washington. It's 6,666 inches high. It's 666 inches wide along each of the perimeters. It's based on a magic square. They actually conduct that ancient Egyptian ceremony in Washington, D.C. at the inauguration of every U.S. president, who's standing over there in the dome of Isis, the Temple Dome, the U.S. Capitol Dome. Anybody can take a tour, walk inside, and look up into her underside belly. What do you see? The apotheosis of George Washington becoming a god, because they're looking forward to the day when that God is actually going to return and enthrone himself as the leader of this country. They believed that this was a prophecy about the coming of the God of Freemasonry, and on his arrival, the United States would rise up and become the global leader of the new world order. They believed in those prophecies, a prophecy about the coming of who we would call the Antichrist, because, as you know, Apollo, which is prophesied to come on the Great Seal, is the same spirit identified in the New Testament as the spirit that will fill the Antichrist, the man of sin.
Wow.
So what is it? What is it, and where does it lead? First, the Masonic compass. This points to the White House. The White House is the base point on the pentagram. But that's not all. The White House also sits at the base of another key Masonic symbol, the unfinished pyramid. The unfinished pyramid is the symbol depicted on the dollar bill, with the so-called all-seeing eye at the top. Back in D.C., remarkably, the street outline does something similar. Travel directly north from the White House, up the pyramid, to the center of the all-seeing eye, and there can be found a building. It is indeed a temple in the form of an unfinished pyramid. This is the temple of the Supreme Council of the 33rd degree Freemasonry.
If you know what that is, well, you might want to pay attention here, because there are some parts of religion that you've been duped. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Watch this. Thanks, Mary.
What I'm about to show you can't be unseen. And why, if you worship any of the Abrahamic faiths, you seriously need to wake the fuck up. of your faith are rooted in Satanism. Satan comes from the word Saturn. Saturn represents the color black and the black cube, like this black cube, or this black cube, or this cube when it's folded up.
It becomes a hexagon. So first we have a hexagram, but when we connect the dots it becomes a hexagon. And hexa in Latin is also number 6, hexa. That's also 6. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges. What about that? So we have hexagram, hexagon, but we're going to connect more dots. And now we're getting into the realm of sacred geometry. We're going to connect these points here. With this one in the middle. And now we have a cube. We have an actual cube. So we have the hexagram, the hexagon, and when we connect the edges inside, we see a cube. And it is known that around the world there's black cubes in many, many locations. The most famous one is the black cube that the Muslims pray to in Mecca. It's a black cube. And that is very intriguing. Why would a whole religion with millions of people pray to a cube? Why? Why is that? Why? Well, it's because there's something divine about it. It's because there's something that connects to the spirit realm. That's why the hexagram is an important sigil. But I feel like the hexagram is 1/4 of the whole image. Because when you connect the dots, it becomes a cube. And we have number 6 appearing here again. We have the 6 edges and then the 6 vertices. And when you start connecting the dots, this becomes even more connected to these world orders and these elites and these leaders around the world that use these symbols and these sigils. And you start wondering, what if there's a door, or there is some sort of portal that number 6 and the hexagram unlocks? What if the hexagram and number 6 unlocks the door to what's in the middle here, right here? Right here. So I just wanted to show you the connection, like how these things work together. There's also another mysterious thing is that planet Saturn. So that if you check some images on the internet, at the top of planet Saturn there's the form of a hexagon forming with clouds. There's a hexagon, and you wonder how does nature forms a hexagon? Because Earth doesn't exist, and Saturn was the 6th planet as well.
444.
In alchemy, number 6, Saturn, the planet, is the representation of the prima materia, darkness, where everything starts, where the great work begins. The magnum opus, that's where it begins. Begins with Saturn, darkness, number 6. The hexagram. You see the relations that I'm trying to build here. You see the dots that I'm trying to connect. There's something very mysterious here, and I do believe that it's the doorway to the spirit realm. I also do believe that you can use this sigil in this form to either protect yourself, to control demons like how Solomon did, or to hex people. After all, where do you think the word hex comes from?
Move the American embassy to the eternal capital, Jerusalem.
Satan worship is running Hollyweird. It's also running the banking system. Saturn, Satan, Saturday.
We are all in the black cube matrix. You're probably wondering, what are these black cubes? And what do they symbolize? And why are they in every major city around the world? I'm here to tell you that this black cube is the cube of Saturn. This is the cube on the North Pole of Saturn. The truth is far stranger than you think. In the occult side of the world, Saturn is known as Father Time. and you'll see its symbology everywhere you go. The planets are not what you think. They're not what you've been told. Space is not real. There is a far deeper meaning behind these 7 energies we call planets. The elites in power must worship Saturn, as their symbology is everywhere. On Michael Jackson's album cover, it says Escape with Saturn rings. What do you think he's trying to tell us?
Now I want you to just go ahead and digest that Chronos is the same exact god as the Roman god Saturn. Saturn, that sounds like Satan with urn, the thing you put ashes in. Keep looking, I'm going to confirm this for y'all. Now there's Saturn also eating his son, because this is the same exact god that all these evil corporations are worshiping.
Amount of satanic Hollywood sellouts, all paying respect to their Lord and Master, all doing the same thing over and over and over again. And this really should help wake people up, right? This is a ridiculous amount of fallen angel worship and an overwhelming amount of evidence, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you may recognize a lot of these people, some may not, right? But the point will be made clear that these people are not to be put on pedestals and worshipped like the fallen angels before them, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden. You know, Alice Cooper. I did a 3-part series on him, right? And that freak Marilyn Manson and his sellout Goonies buddy. And Princess Leia. Yeah. Janet Jackson. Prince. Muhammad Ali. I also found one with Muhammad Ali in a very clever photograph with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hey, Arnold doesn't care about your freedom. Don't forget that, ladies and gentlemen. Ronnie James Dio. I saw him twice, so I could easily do a video on Ronnie James Dio. Robert Downey, the Iron Mason of Hollywood. I did a video on him, check that out. Let's see. Oh, Keith Richards. That shouldn't shock anybody. There's no way you get the longevity he had without selling your soul. This wrestling personality here, Rhea Ripley, I believe it is. Now she's making it very clear. Hunter, oh, he's something. Now, if you look him up, you'll find that he admitted to selling his soul. Charlie Sheen, do you think he's still winning, ladies and gentlemen? All right, we'll zip through some of these real fast here. Look at this. Osiris risen on speed dial, just to show you how ridiculous this is. All right, Michael Jackson. Oh, Johnny Depp. All right, watch my Alice Cooper Exposed series. In part 2, you'll see everything you need to know about the satanic sellout. Johnny Depp. King Diamond from back in the day. Ex-lead singer of Merciful Fate. You don't need to make a video about him. He's already an admitted Satanist. Poppy. I mean, I don't know who Poppy is. Just another puppet, ladies and gentlemen. Just like Hugh Jackman. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is no different. So on and so forth, ladies and gentlemen. Just more speed dial. Look at this. Madonna. Dee Snider. Oh, Bon Jovi. David Bowie. JK. Of course she's a witch, ladies and gentlemen. Right? She made her name on writing books about witchcraft. Shouldn't be a shock. All of your Hollywood celebrities, ladies and gentlemen. All of your Hollywood favorites. Right? Kiss. Right? Check out Gene Simmons. Right? Paul Stanley. Peter Criss. Ace Frehley. The original group.
So with all this evidence, what do you think now about Adam's apple and the story of Eve? What do you think about how the serpent told her if she ate that, she would not die? Because from where I'm standing, these people sure know a whole bunch about the future. They seem to know it in advance. I mean, are these normal people? Or is there something much bigger going on, y'all, that we need to pay attention to?
Happened just over 1 minute into flight.
1 minute 15 seconds, velocity 2,900 feet per second, altitude 9 nautical miles.
Next is former NASA astronaut Judith Resnick with an exact doppelganger working at Yale University. 37 years have passed and she hasn't even changed her name. Side by side, there's no denying it. When she's approached, she has a very odd way of not responding.
Hey, Judy. Judy, how you doing? I'm from the press. I just had a quick question, if you don't mind.
What press?
I'm from a radio station in San Bernardino. I know there's a conspiracy about the space shuttle. No, I want to be polite. Friendly, just a question. So there's a lot of rumors about you being on that space shuttle. Obviously, you know, if you want to comment, we would really appreciate it.
Kind of odd that Judith is in full panic mode when realizing the press is in her presence. She's no stranger to being in the spotlight. She even made her way into Hollywood for a quick cameo.
If the choice is to allow Americans to be taken as hostages or to be executed, I'll bring my own fucking rope. Saddam backed down, and Ambassador Wilson helped thousands get safely home. When he himself came home to the United States, he was warmly greeted by our president, who took him to the Oval Office and introduced him to the War Cabinet as an American hero.
Commander.
Inhabitants of Earth, we are a race from the planet Valula. We came to you in these familiar Earth forms to tell you we received your vessel, and in it, your hostile challenge.
We accept your offer to compete in winner-take-all battles. Gather your bravest warriors to face our bravest warriors.
The winner takes the loser's planet. You have already lost the first battle, and for our victory, we have taken a trophy.
I'm okay, Mama. I love you. That's not the real Madonna!
You will get 3 lives. You have 2 lives left. Losing both will lead to the total destruction of your planet. The next battle is in 15 hours at coordinates 2744.
I wonder if you ever known that everything you own in this life, the next life is all gone. Peace, gone.
Hey, if you're seeing what I'm seeing, you need to stand up and fight this. This is an information war. We need to raise awareness and we need to get organized because they are organized and we aren't. We need to come together as God's people and beat them.